Alright, welcome back guys, EJ here. I've seen a number of videos online claiming that they blew up 100,000 pieces of TNT and it broke Obsidian or Bedrock or things like that. And it of course sparked this huge controversy in the comments of all of them, and it's like, you can't break Obsidian? Yes you can. You can't break Obsidian? Yes you can. And finally I just got annoyed with them. And I looked on the Minecraft forums, and there are a bunch of arguments on there. Apparently, this question has been around for a long while. What can you break with explosions? So, I decided to do some research on my own and figure that out. And I looked on the Minecraft wiki for information on that subject. I found a lot of interesting stuff, and I did some testing of my own, and also had some fun with that. Almost killed my computer, but I had fun with it. So, alright, so I'm going to tell you what I found, but that'll be the last thing I conclude with. Right now I'm going to explain a little bit of the technical jargon behind why the answer is what it is. So, Obsidian, according to the Minecraft wiki, which I will show a picture of right now, has a blast resistance of 6,000, and Bedrock is 18 million, if you care. So, since this is a numeric value, it means that the game coders didn't actually hardwire it into the game that it's completely invincible. I mean, the number is so high that it practically is, but it is actually possible to break these blocks with some sort of explosion, but it would have to be ridiculously powerful in order to break it. If you had a high enough explosion power, it would be possible to break it, but it would require explosion power not achievable in the game without using hacks or mods or something. And even then, your game might crash if your computer isn't powerful enough. But if it did work, such an immense explosion would literally annihilate your entire world, leaving you with a bunch of strange carved lines throughout every loaded chunk, and he'd probably insta-kill you no matter where you are, provided both the explosion and you were in loaded chunks. Anyway. Maybe not, but I'm kind of exaggerating. But seriously, it would be huge and mess up lots of stuff. I mean, this is why I have a test world, because I'm obviously going to do some really huge stuff. Now, the highest explosion power found naturally in the game is a numeric value, explosion power of 7, which is when you spawn a wither. In fact, let me do that for you right now. An explosion power of 7, though big, the biggest one that you can find in the game is not actually powerful enough to blow up Obsidian. It's going to destroy my nice little hole. No. Yeah, that was pretty big, wasn't it? So, yeah. Go fly, be free, kill that pig. Okay, well, I've kind of messed up this area now, but okay, so I still have my obsidian here. It did not break. So, the reason that it doesn't break is because the formula that Minecraft uses to determine whether an explosion is powerful enough to overcome a block's blast resistance is as follows. Let me just put that on the screen because it's kind of a complicated formula. If you don't want to worry about how this works, then it's fine, but I guess I won't explain it because it's kind of complicated. It's actually going into like how the game works. But this is kind of important because it means that the value or the terms explosion power and blast resistance are not directly proportional. For example, diamond ore has a blast resistance of 15, yet TNT's explosion power is 4 and TNT still breaks diamond ore. So it's obviously not a 1-to-1 ratio. For example, if I had a explosion power of 6,000, it would break this because it would be way too powerful, but it would break with a much less explosion power. TNT's actual blast force is approximately 77.67, a value which is much higher than 15. After you plug it through the formula, it becomes the explosion power of TNT, which is 4, becomes 7.67. So, someone might need to check my math on that, but it's kind of really complicated. But yeah, that's what I came up with, and it makes sense. Anyway, this means that you'd have to focus the explosive power of about 80 TNT, or an explosion power of 320, on a single block of obsidian to break it. But in fact, even if you did manage to simultaneously blow up 80 TNT in the exact same spot, it wouldn't break the obsidian, because multiple close-range explosions have no cumulative effect on the destruction of a block, or player, or anything. This means that, like, if you have a bunch of TNT, only one of them, each one is going to affect it as a separate instance of TNT blowing up. Like, if you have one TNT, it'll blow up, and whatever it would do to those blocks, that's the same thing that would happen if you had two TNT there. One TNT would do the same thing, and then the other TNT would do the same thing. So it's not all adding up into this huge explosion, even though that's kind of what it looked like during the game. So this means that you can't add up the explosion powers from different explosions or TNT blocks. You'd actually need to cheat in order to get an explosion power with a power greater than 7. So be careful if you try this though, because if your computer can't handle it, it could do anything from crashing your game to corrupting your world, or all sorts of stuff, just because it takes so much memory for the computer to do all the stuff that it's trying to do. Break blocks and send out rays of explosion. A little bit more on that in a minute. The way that explosions happens is it sends out all these rays. It's not like an actual circle, which is why you get a really, really weird looking shape once you send out a explosion that's really big, because it's a bunch of rays. It's not an actual circle or anything. I'll show you that in a minute. But that's why it happens, and you can see the image over here on the forum, why the shape in which it sends out the rays, so why it does that. Now, just about all of the people I've seen online are on the right track who are saying that you can't break obsidian and all that kind of stuff, but I have one thing to add. I did a lot of research on this, so I think I pretty much know what I'm talking about. So anyway, multiple actions, multiple TNT blocks trying to break the block at the same time don't combine into a super powerful mining force. That's why if you have two players trying to mine the same block, it doesn't go twice as fast. It's also why you can't come back to a half-mined block and continue mining it, though the idea of like gradually healing and damage-saving blocks would be pretty cool, though perhaps annoying. The same goes for blast resistance. The blast resistance is a number saying how much damage or an explosion of a certain force will do to a block of this type. The blast resistance is not changed or whittled down, it simply decreases the damage dealt to blocks by explosions, the higher the blast resistance is. But you actually can break obsidian with TNT if you use cheats/hacks. Otherwise it's impossible. Since no TNT naturally has an explosion power great enough to break it, having 1 TNT or 10,000 TNT all in the same spot is not going to make any difference. You need to have an explosion power of at least one of those entities to be greater than the blast resistance, or to be great enough to break the blast resistance here. So without editing the primed TNT and entity NBT data, it would be impossible to blow up TNT, or at least it should be impossible in theory. Some people apparently claim differently, and I'm pretty sure they're wrong, but I'm still willing to admit that I could be wrong. I'm not that prideful. Anyway, as for other methods of blowing up obsidian, the only ones that would work still involve cheats and hacks. The most powerful explosion is summoning a wither boss, so that's still nowhere near powerful enough to break the obsidian. An explosion power of well over 200 is required in order to break obsidian. If you really want to try breaking obsidian, you can, if you're on the PC version, you can try this command. There's a command you can input into the chat bar to get a fireball or TNT entity that you can use to break obsidian with this command. It's a little bit excessive just to make sure it does the job, and I tested it. It does work. So the command is summon fireball at this coordinates. You can put a block number, or you can just use tildes. That means summon it at myself. then in brackets, ExplosionPower equals 500. So this is way more than I need. It's kind of excessive actually. In fact, let me just change it down to 200 so you can see that this is not powerful enough to break it. And then direction, just so it doesn't like fly off somewhere while I'm trying to work with it. So let me copy this command. And now when I use this command, oopsie. Okay, so here's the command. It summons this fireball. I'm going to shoot it down there, and it's going to cause this immense explosion. This is not going to be powerful enough, so let's shoot this down directly at that obsidian and see what happens. This is probably going to lag a lot. Whoop. Yeah, it did. So, this is still here, and clearly it did a lot of damage and lit everything on fire. Whoopsie. Yeah, so if we go underground in MC Edit here, it's kind of hard to see because of all the caves around here, but you can see the radii extending along these axes, extending in all directions from the explosion point, because it actually makes explosions by going in little lines and little lines all over the place. So that's why it looks kind of funky once you get an explosion too big. You'll be able to see it better with the explosion power of 5,000 or 500. Let's go hop back into that and we'll see it. Alright, so that was not powerful enough to blow up the TNT. It lit my command block on fire. But now when I copy this command with an explosion power of 500, this will definitely be powerful enough to do it. So this will probably cause a good deal of damage. Let me go ahead and game roll, do tile drops. False, just so I don't get like a ton of entities, item entities spawning every time a block is destroyed, because that'll kind of cause a lot of lag. Let's just go ahead and try this. Whee! And you're free to try this command out for yourself if you want. Just change the explosion power to whatever you want and test it out on stuff. It is lagging a lot. There goes the explosion. I'll put the command in the description so that you can use it yourself. Wow. Okay then. Well, it got reduced so much from the first layer of obsidian that it didn't actually make it to the second layer. I just broke that one. That was not actually broken. So it broke the top layer of them. You know how there were 8. Now there's 4. So if we do another, then it'll probably break those 4. But let's hop back into MC Edit real quick, just to observe the damage from a different angle. That's interesting. Look at how far the explosion power went. It went far enough to actually generate chunks all the way out here. Each radii went really super far. It's kind of funny. Alright. Yeah, so you can clearly see the radii extending here. So, oh, diamond. It goes down and down, 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 down in every direction here. It kind of looks like a weird spider thing or something. Alright, I'm just gonna, for fun, break that other couple of... Oh, and to move the fireball, you just have to punch it. And there go the last 4 obsidian blocks, I'm pretty sure. Hello? Yep, they're gone. So yeah, and also the way explosions travel through blocks is they travel, once the explosion is like traveling through the block, it gets reduced as it blows up the block. So since these blocks are so hard to blow up, it kind of like reduces the explosion so much that it doesn't even break anything below it. That's why this huge mound is still here. Alright, now I'm going to recreate the TNT explosions that I have seen in a couple of videos. If my computer can handle it, that is. So I have this other TNT test world. What? Alright, so for some reason that world just crashed in 1.7.5, so I'm going to go back down to 1.7.4 where I know it didn't crash last time. That was weird. Let's try it now. Yep, no crashes this time. I don't know what happened there. So yes, this is my enormous TNT sphere of doom. This is pretty much what I saw in a couple of videos. I have made mine hollow just to make sure I didn't actually delete any, and I have another TNT sphere inside it. I made it hollow just so I could make sure I didn't accidentally replace any obsidian or bedrock or anything with TNT, which would make it look like it blew it up, but it didn't actually blow it up. What is it exploding? Why is this exploding? I didn't even light it yet. Oh my gosh, this is not a good place to be. It's gonna lag my computer to death. Okay, I was going to light it with this nice bow of awesomeness with flame 1 on it. You know what, let me just light it. Whatever, I don't even care. Also, I know that TNT and other explosions are not powerful enough to break water. Water has a blast resistance of 500 or so. So does lava. Well, this was a nice little forest biome. Now it's kind of a wasteland explosion biome. Got some cool shapes though. Alright, well, it's finally silenced itself. Well, that was certainly entertaining. I didn't even get too much lag. I guess I should have made it a solid sphere instead of a hollow sphere, but whatever. I'm pretty sure one of the ones in the video I saw was a hollow sphere too, and it said it did more damage than mine did, it looks like. So, maybe I can do a solid one if I have time. Yeah, so, doesn't look like any obsidian was really destroyed. That looks pretty cool, I like it. Here's bedrock down here, doesn't look like any of that's been destroyed. I mean, I obviously know what to expect, because it just doesn't make sense that TNT alone would have been able to break any lava, so this makes sense. Blow up everything around the lava, but not actually the lava. And then is there obsidian below it? Oh, I guess there's not. Weird. I guess no water got to it. And then the water's still intact, that makes sense too. And if there's any obsidian around here, it would make sense that that didn't get blown up either. Actually don't see any. Oh. Oh well, maybe there just wasn't any. And then here is this weird looking terraform thing. I kinda like it, it's nice. And 120 of TNT. Not hollow. And yep. This will be great. I'm going to be very happy with this one. Put it there. Good enough. Save the world. I'll have to teleport out, I guess, because I'm going to be inside it. Huh, look, you can see everything, because I'm inside the world. Oh no, it's already igniting. Cheap. Yeah, this is why I warned you not to do too much TNT. It could lag your world to the point of being corrupted or unable to be opened. Come back to me. Come back to me, little Minecraft. You can do it. Yeah, I don't believe in you anymore. I think you're dead. I think you're dead. Poor Minecraft is dead. Oh yes, yes. Run out of memory. Well, okay. That's kind of what I expected. So, I guess that's going to be the end of my video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hope this helped and finally settled the question of whether or not you can break obsidian and other blocks with explosions and TNT. I'll put my sources for the information I found in the description, and I also found out some more cool stuff, so if you ever want to know something, you can go ahead and comment below or ask me or something, because I know all about this kind of stuff now. And it was actually kind of fun to learn about this, so if you ever have another myth or really confusing question about Minecraft, just go ahead and ask me, and I'll do my best to figure it out. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.